Bruh, AI is smarter than us. It will get better than us. I don't want to be a doomer, but AI will replace a lot of us. It's inevitable. Hello everyone, Baconstache here. Today, we're going to do some reactions. So, I'm gonna find some interesting video and we're going to react to it. Let's see what can I find. Don't let the games industry sell you garbage. Okay, I'm gonna bite. Let's see.
I somehow very naively thought that the layoffs were going to die down.
Oh,
that the games industry layoffs
okay.
We're now at 21,000, I believe the number is. Intel just laid off another 15,000
yes.
people.
Everybody talking about the news about the Intel
the
stuff.
Latter half of 2024, and I was wrong. And I punched my microphone. The
It happened to me as well.
I made about games industry layoffs was 8 months ago.
Okay.
The 10th of November, 2023. And it was about Bungie.
Yeah, I remember that video. I saw it.
August 4th, 2024, and we are once again talking about Bungie layoffs. And Game Informer, the magazine, completely shut down. And at the same time, there is a SAG-AFTRA video game strike, which I'm also going to talk about. I don't have a lot left to say about layoffs. We've spoken about them a lot. There is a separate thing that I want to talk about today.
Okay.
The layoffs suck. They continue to suck. It continues to feel useless to say anything. I mean, I gave a whole speech about it at the Game Developers Choice Awards, which is in a room in front of a bunch of video game industry execs. We've lost people with years of experience who worked hard.
Dude, although what she said was quite true, at the Game Award show, a place where, you know, everybody come to celebrate gaming, that's quite of a bummer, you know, to hear such a speech. Yeah, that was very depressing to hear. But I can't say she was wrong. It was just not the right place, in my opinion, to sound those ideas. But to each their own. She did what she did. I support her sounding out her ideas into the wild. Maybe she could have done it in a better place, but it's her choice after all. She got that position to speak there the way she did.
To make some of the games that have been nominated tonight, but more importantly, we've watched our friends get laid off. We've seen how it impacts their families, their children, sorry, I mean, I love the company.
Oh my God, this is crazy. They actually switched it up and said, please wrap it up. They were like, shut the fuck up, get out of the stage. Dude, I don't believe they really did it. Dude, that's cringy as hell.
The stock market is actually the best thing to happen to video games. Okay, that was close. I've spoken about them on podcasts, on streams. I tweet every time that I can. Like, the fuck else can we say at this point? It sucks. It's really sad. You know, I'm just so sorry to everybody who's lost their jobs. I'm just, Today, what I want to talk about, this is probably going to be a pretty short video. Well, let me catch you up on the news first.
It's going to be a pretty short video, 17 minutes. Well, I guess it's relatively short for her.
I keep seeing people talk about that, like, I feel like they just really don't understand, is kind of what I wanted to jump into. Probably going to be a bit of a somber tone. Sorry about that.
Okay.
This is an article from GameSpot written by Tamal Hussein, and it says, on July 31st, Bungie executive Pete Parsons confirmed the company is cutting around 220 people from several departments.
Damn.
The number represents 17% of its workforce.
Damn. That's crazy.
The 150 people are reportedly being moved around Sony Interactive Entertainment. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. He also indicated that layoffs at every level of Bungie and that most of Bungie's executive or senior leader positions are impacted. As part of the layoff announcement, it was also confirmed that Bungie is working on a brand new game, but it is not Destiny 3 or Payback. Instead, this new sci-fi project will be developed at a new internal studio being set up within PlayStation. This obviously pretty closely follows the release of Destiny 2's The Final Shape expansion, which was super positively received by fans, like genuinely very positively received, which is the biggest thing that I want to talk about today. I've touched about it before. We're going to talk about it again. Even if I recognize I'm speaking to like a minority of people, it still feels like something that should be discussed.
All right,
the second part,
you can discuss it. That's why we will gather in here.
To this is Game Informer. Game Informer is being completely shut down. Game Informer magazine. This one, I mean, look, the Bungie layoffs suck. They sucked before, they suck now. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck else to say. It sucks. What are we doing? The Game Informer one, while obviously traditional media like print magazines have been in a decline for quite some time.
Wait, are you telling me the Game Informer was only a physical magazine? It wasn't digital? I don't believe that in 2024, Game Informer was only a physical magazine. Like, barely anybody, I think, read physical stuff anymore. I mean, maybe some old people do, but like the modern, the modern crowd, like people our age, a little bit older than me as well, like 30, 40, maybe even 50. We read digital already.
Game Informer just holds like such a place in my heart. I worked at EB Games, which is the Australian version of GameStop. I was a Game Informer subscriber for years.
I can tell you that, like, as an adult, maybe I would find this kind of magazine boring, but maybe if I were, like, if I had the chance as a kid to be exposed to gaming magazine, I think I would probably love it very much. But now as an adult, I'm like, nah, I don't really care about that.
Years. I was so excited to get those magazines every single time. And I actually, when I started out in games journalism, I used to be a games journalist like 6+ years ago at this point. Some of the first paid pieces I ever wrote were for print magazines.
I think that one of the big problems that we have right now, I mean, I don't think it's a problem. This is just reality. But the thing is that, we have YouTubers, we have streamers, we have other people. We have so many people who air their opinion to the public about video games. And I think that today, like, we have so many people who express their opinions and their experiences about games so easily accessible with a click of a button on websites like YouTube and Twitch and other places like that, that we don't really have any reason to go to gaming magazine to get our information, because we already got that information from other people around us. So maybe gaming magazine become a little bit more obsolete. I think that another thing that you need to take into account is the fact that game magazines usually have some editors that are behind the articles that they write. And those editors, they don't have a face. And most of the time, well, take it with a grain of salt, because I didn't read a lot of magazine. But as far as I'm concerned, what I know is that, you don't see the face of the editor. And most of the time, unless you're a very, very avid reader, you usually don't know who is writing the article. You just read it and forget about it. And I think that in today's day and age, especially with mediums like YouTube and streaming and other places, somebody's face is very, very important. When you go and get your information, when you want to consume some information to get some opinions about a piece of media or something like that, what you usually do is you go to somebody you are familiar with, somebody you had experience with in the past, and you trust them with the information they provide. Like in the past, when you did not have that kind of access, when people's main way of consuming media was places like magazines, when you heard the name Game Informer, was some place that you probably decided to trust, and you use their information. You use them as a place you trust to get your information about video games. But today, you go to YouTubers, you go to streamers, you go to other social networks, and you get your information from there. So I think this kind of medium is way, way stronger. And I can tell you about myself, at least. I feel that I can trust a YouTuber that I really like or a streamer that I really like way more than a magazine. Are they more trustworthy than Game Informer? No, I don't think there is really a difference. But as far as my feeling goes, I feel like somebody that I know, I don't know personally, but I feel as if I know more personally. I feel that I can trust their information more. It feels more personal. It feels as if you're getting your information from a close friend, from a neighbor, from somebody like that. And those are the type of people we usually tend to trust, right?
None of which exists now. I think that Game Informer may have been a pretty pivotal part in what made me realize that I wanted to write about games professionally. And it lasted 33 years. I have a few friends who work for Game Informer, and it seems like none of them knew this was coming. They did not expect this news.
33 years. Just think about it. You have worked in a company for 33 years and you lose your job. Where do you go? I mean, there are places to go, but if you like try to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who was with the company since the beginning or near the beginning, losing your job right now is like losing your fucking reason to leave. I think the majority of them will be okay, but that's a lot of time. Companies breaking apart and firing and closing. That is always a feeling of such pain. Crazy, man.
And the memo says, after 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual reality realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. This magazine is older than I am, and I don't think that anyone is doing anything like the Game Informer cover story. That Game Informer cover story, you're just having the full cover wrapped in whatever game is about to come out, and it's so exciting to see every time. Such beautiful art, and then a whole feature and a bunch of interviews, and I don't feel like anyone else has really replicated that. IGN has certainly tried. I know that they literally said that they had tried to do that. That's what IGN First was intended to be, but IGN First never felt as cool as the Game Informer cover story, and it really feels like a really iconic part of video game culture has been lost, especially for people who still go into their GameStop to buy video games and get that magazine every month. It was just really fucking cool. The third part of this, in case you haven't seen it, I will have an interview up with a member of SAG-AFTRA talking about the video game strikes, which are all happening at the same time.
Video game strikes?
Video game actors are striking. That basically means that for any game that has not signed an interim agreement, which a lot have, they will be
what are those interim agreements
on video games in voice acting capacities. There are a lot of different things to say about this, but the main holdup is AI protections. SAG-AFTRA is not actually asking to ban AI. They are just asking for transparency in its use. In theory, to know how.
This is a very, very murky place, man. AI again. AI problems everywhere. Oh my god. Whether you're a designer, whether you're a programmer, whether you're in VA, whether you're in every type of field, everybody are afraid of losing their job. The only problem is that even before AI, every time new technology came out, people were afraid to lose their job. This is not something new. AI is new, but being scared of losing your job is not new due to new technology. That is always happening and is always frightening. But you know what? When some job closes, new job opportunity open. AI will inevitably replace a lot of jobs, but a lot of new jobs that did not exist before are going to open up. So I completely understand their take. There is some, like, what I'm trying to say is that I can feel them. I can really, really feel them and their fear, and it's justified. But you will not be able to stop it. And let me tell you one more thing. Businesses are all about making money. Wherever businesses can save money, they will save money. They will try to do it no matter what, no matter the expenses, no matter how many people they're going to infuriate, like make angry or like shame or like people will lose their job. in the end of the day, businesses are money machines. And it is the VA and all of the other people job to protest against it. But they won't be able to stop it. It is going to happen. There is no solution to it. I wish there was. Like, I also feel the coldness of a lot of things becoming AI driven. A lot of the human touch is being lost. And I don't like it. Not one bit. But in the end of the day, AI is here to stay. And it's just going to get bigger and more beneficial to save money for businesses. And it will come on our expenses. But we will find a way to deal with it and move on. Oh my God. What the future is going to hold, I don't have a clue. But it's going to be a doozy.
How it has been used. We don't actually know why, presumably, the publishers are denying the contract negotiations as it currently stands, because as it turns out, again, I have an interview. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. It'll be up on my podcast channel. But I didn't know this, that they don't actually negotiate in person. It's basically just like the two separate bodies go through lawyers, and then the lawyers like look at each other's contracts. They don't actually like get in a room and negotiate, which I totally did not know. But all we know is that SAG-AFTRA has been negotiating this for, I think, almost 2 years, and is asking for transparency where AI is concerned, and that is not being permitted. So there will be no more voice acting for video games, or performance capture, or facial capture, or anything else pertaining to a performance in a video game that will be able to be made over the next few months.
That's very interesting. I'm really curious what is going to happen after this, because I don't think the VA and all of the rest of the people will be able to win this one. So I wonder what will happen, because like in the end, they need job. They can't protest forever. They will protest and protest and protest, and like eventually somebody will need to fold.
It could last a really long time. Yes, it will impact almost every single AAA game that you play. A lot of game directors are pro-union. From my experience in the games industry, a lot of game developers are pro-union, a lot of game developers are pro-worker. Actually, every single one I have spoken to, including numerous game directors, literally 100% of them seem to be on the side of SAG-AFTRA. It is the publishers making decisions like this, not your usual game developers. And from my understanding, talking to some people, they don't want to move ahead with non-union actors because they want to respect the workers. But we don't really know how that's going yet. Don't know how it's going to go. You are almost definitely going to see game delays, even though the truth is games can still be made without actors. They could be recorded a little bit later. They have like some more room to shift where game dev is concerned. But the reason I'm talking about these three things in the same one video is just this one thing that I really want to touch on. Let me use this here as an example. So I tweeted this stupid tweet. Felt sucky to even tweet it. Felt like one of those things where it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. How it keeps happening, and I always feel compelled to say something, but what's the fucking point? But I said, I really thought we would work through the worst of it, and I did. I'm just so sorry to everyone at Bungie and Game Informer impacted by this week's layoffs. You deserve better, and so do the people who play and read the things you've worked so hard on. This reply, of which I have seen numerous, that they deserve to get laid off, do a better job.
Dude, what a cold response. What a motherfucker. What a motherfucker.
Hold on. This reply, of which I have seen numerous, that they deserve to get laid off, do a better job. I actually had the exact same thing on my post about SAG-AFTRA. I posted on Instagram some photos from a recording session about how I am really thankful that some of the game studios that I have been recording voices for this year have actually already signed the interim agreement, meaning that I still got to record something last week because they already signed the interim agreement, basically saying, yeah, we agree. Sounds like it's not that difficult. But I went to screenshot a comment from this, and it would seem the guy has blocked me, so I can't. You still may be able to find him under my post, but I can't. Effectively shared the same sentiment that was like, well, if actors were good enough, they wouldn't be replaced by AI. That's what happens when you're not good enough at
It has nothing to do with being good.
You will be replaced. I've seen the same sentiment.
It has nothing to do with it. This is such a stupid comment by an idiot who doesn't understand how life works. Bruh, AI is smarter than us. It will get better than us. I don't want to be a doomer, but AI will replace a lot of us. It's inevitable. AI is built to become better than us. It will take a lot of time. I think there will always be jobs that cannot be replaced by AI, and it's good. And if there are no jobs like that, there will be created new jobs that are set for people, jobs that AI cannot perform. But there is no solution to that problem. This is the same problem that people had a long time ago when computers were invented. When computers were invented, people were afraid to lose their job. And you know what? A lot of people lost their job, and we are fine. We found new jobs. We created new jobs. We developed new stuff. It will be the same with AI. We will lose jobs, and we will start new jobs instead. It's a pain in the ass. A lot of tears and blood will be lost during this AI race, but it's an inevitable race. You just have to accept it. You can feel the pain. You can cry. You should cry. Why wouldn't you want to cry? If you've been going to school or going to university or learning for many years and putting your blood and soul into something to become extremely good at the profession, just to lose it to a cold AI. It's understandable.
Tweet. Basically this logic that if people were just better at their jobs, they wouldn't have to worry about layoffs. They wouldn't be affected by layoffs.
People are good. AI. I don't like it. That's the reality.
Well, if the games were better, this wouldn't be happening.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
It
That's
would.
the part of this that I want to talk about today, okay? Layoffs in the games industry are also bad for you.
They are.
The gamer. Voice actors in the games industry being replaced with AI is also bad for you, the gamer, the consumer. Being supportive of layoffs or of artists being replaced is just so shooting yourself in the face. It's so hard to fathom people thinking this way, but let me present my case. I believe the games industry, an industry that I love and have worked in for numerous years at this point, to be extremely greedy. That does not happen at a game developer level, that happens at a publisher level. The game developers themselves...
Greediness happens everywhere. It is not related to video game industry. It happens in the tech industry. It happens in every kind of industry imaginable. If you are a business, you are a greedy. Businesses are built to be greedy. By creating a business, you're assigning yourself for the main objective of making as much money and losing as much money as you can to have as much money in your pocket by the end of the day. You are being programmed to be greedy if you are a business, fundamentally.
Do not come across as greedy to me in any capacity. The publishers come across as greedy. And I quite strongly believe, again, I've been in the games industry for, like, if you total it, including games journalism, 12 years now, I think? 13 years? It's a long time. It's a lot of my life. Layoffs will not give you better video games. Layoffs is removing people who have a ton of experience, who know how to execute a product better, who know how to produce things faster, who know how to solve problems faster, who have experience dealing with
I don't sure about the faster part. The whole idea behind AI is that it's more efficient than humans. But I think that what makes games beautiful, what gives games a soul, are real people and passion and love coming out through the game with VA, with acting, with filmmaking, with all of the skills of people, real people pouring their soul into the characters and the games, all of the love and the passion. That is something that I'm afraid that we are going to lose with all of that AI. I don't know how will game developers, game studios, and those big companies, what will they do once all of their games will lose that human touch? That is a very scary day to try to imagine, but I have a feeling that it will come one day. In the end of the day, the people who consume games are humans, not machines, humans. So if the game will lose its soul, will lose the human touch, I think we will lose interest in the games. By the end of the day, we won't want the games because the games will feel cold and soulless. So in the end of the day, the businesses will lose. Like, AI cannot replicate everything. There is a limit to AI. AI, of course, improves all the time, but AI is still not so intelligent to the point that it understands human feelings and being able to have a soul. Maybe one day, if we will get to the point that AI will be able to behave exactly like a real human being, maybe when we will get to that day, businesses will win because they won't have to pay money for actors and all of the people around this industry. But as long as AI is behaving like AI, soulless, mathematical equations being run in a program, it will not replicate the magic of human beings. And we notice, and when we notice, we don't buy stuff. We don't play stuff. We don't love stuff. And in the end, the consumer is human. It's not machine. So I don't know. I don't know what is the future of AI. It's very concerning, scary, but we can't shy away from this reality.
The many complicated intricacies that come along with game development. That experience, some of these people have 20 years experience. That was senior staff laid off at Bungie. That experience is irreplaceable. A lot of those people are going to leave the games industry permanently. We will never get that back. Where Game Informer is concerned, there was so much reporting that will not be replaced anywhere. Where AI is concerned, it doesn't matter how good AI gets. It is my firm belief that the industry will give you the cheapest version of things possible so long as you accept them. You,
True.
the consumer. What they will do for as long as they can, as incrementally as they can, are edging closer and closer and closer to being able to make much cheaper games with more microtransactions. You're seeing so much push towards live service games,
That's true.
even if they're unsuccessful. Right? The Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League, that game was
It's
considered
horrible.
to be unsuccessful, and yet WB is still talking about how they want to make more games like that.
Really?
Replacing voice actors with AI
If they
has
do,
absolutely nothing
did
to do
good.
with the quality of the voice actors. It has to do with the fact that they are slightly more expensive than something that can be replicated, usually in a much worse way, actually every time in a much worse way, but for cheaper. It has nothing to do with how good people.
You're right, Ilana. You're right for now. But AI improves. The more it improves, the better the voice acting will become. I don't know if there is a point when voice acting will become better than human, because voice acting requires soul, require understanding of emotions, things that AI doesn't have. But even without that passion and soul, you can create quite passable product, and the quality of the product will improve with time. That's very, very interesting to think about it. It actually makes my head hurt. What is the future holding? We'll never know. I mean, we will know eventually, but just have to live to find out.
Are or are not at their
Scary,
jobs.
man.
It has
Scary.
to do with knowing that you, the consumer, will still buy and accept things that are of worse quality and them not caring because it's cheaper. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not about Destiny 2 being bad. I've had many a criticism of things that have happened in Destiny 2, to be clear. The final shape was great. Imagine working so hard on the final shape and then being laid off, even though you just worked so hard on something that players really fucking liked. That's sort of the point. The quality of the games is objectively going to get worse. You have a less experienced staff. You have less staff. You have less resources to make a good video game. You literally have a smaller budget. Where AI is concerned, they do not care about AI being better than actors. It has nothing to do with thinking AI can do a better
Of course
job
they
than actors.
do. Of course they do, because at the end of the day, whether AI is doing good or not, the result is more people buying or not. So they do want AI to become better. They do care about the quality of the product, but they do care about their money more.
It's to do with the games industry thinking that you won't give a shit and you'll buy it anyway. That you, as a gamer, will not care about how poor the quality can get. You will buy the thing anyway. Because they told you to, and they're really good at marketing, and gamers are really easy to hype up. You keep pre-ordering the game. What happens here is that quality only gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Because they think.
I think you're thinking that gamers are stupid. I mean, some gamers are stupid, but I think the real hardcore gamers who are well informed, who are watching those kind of videos, the people who read reviews, the people who care about learning about other people's opinion, those kind of people who are extremely passionate about games, they will not buy shit. They will not eat hogwash. So yeah, I don't agree with you about this point.
You'll keep buying it anyway. Voice actors are not being replaced by AI because they're bad at their jobs. One voice line is a whole person's life worth of experience goes into even delivering one line.
That's true.
It is a human performance, informed by human emotion, informed by somebody's memories and things they've felt. And they're picturing a person they love when delivering a romantic line, or picturing the dog they lost when delivering a sad line.
And that's something that AI doesn't know how to do.
Human experience that goes into presenting those emotions to you in a video game. There is so much value in that. And no, I do not believe that AI can replicate that. Of course it can't. But the point is, even if it could, that's not why the publishers are choosing to do it. They don't think that AI can replace a good voice performance. That's not what they care about. They just care that you don't give a shit. So for every time you leave a comment saying, good, they deserved it, or who cares, AI is going to be better anyway, you are basically asking for a worse product. You are telling these companies that you're okay with a worse product. Anyone who argues in favor of AI overtaking writers and is like, well, the writers are shit anyway, or the artists, or the voice actors, you are just giving these companies...
The voice actors are better. That doesn't change the fact that companies want money and they are trying to make stuff cheaper. They want more money at the end of the day. And to do that, they're trying to cut corners. But they try to create a better product by the end of the day. They just have to make the choice. Is it going to be a better product, or are we going to use AI? At the end of the day, they're not just creating games with worse product. They're also taking into account, we are training that AI that our next product or our next product will be of higher quality, more similar to voice actors. So by the end of the day, they're not thinking about today. They're thinking about 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead.
Permission
You're selling them short.
Worse quality products. That is what you are saying. And maybe they'll do it gradually or slowly. But the more that you're okay with it, the worse shit you're going to get. Layoffs are also bad for gamers.
They are bad for gamers, yes. I mean, are they bad for gamers? By the end of the day, what matters is, do people buy the product or they don't? And if people choose to buy it, the companies win because they both did the layoff and they also sold the product as well. So they get money from saving money from the actor and getting money from us. Man, this is a sad reality that we're living in, isn't it? Pain.
Is bad for gamers. It is a step that leads to a slippery slope of, oh, interesting, what else can we replace without gamers caring? And this is just me coming from the angle of like, hey, the products are going to get shittier and shittier and shittier, especially if you tell them you don't mind and frankly you're okay with it and that you agree humans are too expensive. Give me the worst version of the product. I'll consume all of it. It's also just, I've said this before, here's my stance on AI. I am not anti-AI across the board. We already use AI all the time in video games. I'm using AI and talking to you right now. My background is not actually blurry. I'm using AI to do that. I just feel like if you're consuming products that aren't even being made by humans, that a human is not telling the story or performing the story or making the art or doing the writing, it's just mindless corporate products. There is no human influence. What the fuck is the point? You may as well just be playing a game that's a series of numbers you can just click something on, and what do you even need the experience for? Like, at least the structure that we have now that the industry is trying to cling to and hold on to and is openly very sad about is publishers who have a shit ton of money giving money to creatives. Like, at least that's the setup we currently have. Multi-million-dollar corporations give money to little tiny baby companies in comparison who are full of creative people who really care about making creative shit. And sure, there's wars all the time and the publisher tells them, oh, they have to put microtransactions in, or they have to make it a live service game, or you have to do this amount of things because that's what the market says that the creatives will fight against, but ultimately lose a lot of those fights. But at least you have those creatives who are really trying across the board always to give you something worth playing.
Right.
I promise you, every game dev cares a lot about video games.
Of course it does.
Every actor cares about giving you the best performance that they possibly can. The publishers, the more that you're okay with people being laid off or people being replaced or jobs being cut and you don't give a shit and you share no sympathy for that, are gonna, as quickly as they fucking can, into the, well, they don't care, let's just give them whatever mindless garbage says will make us more money. That's how you get more games with microtransactions. That's how you get all of the stuff that you claim to hate. I don't get it. I know that I'm probably talking to a small minority when saying this, but I promise you that the more that you allow publishers or even support publishers in replacing creatives or even just getting rid of creatives, the more they are going to take from you also. Games aren't going to get cheaper. They're not going to cost less. They're still going to go up in price. They're just going to become worse quality. They're going to have smaller budgets and thus be less impressive. And it's also just not that quality of the games matters because of the way that the system functions. Making profit isn't enough. You have to make double the profit you made last year. That's the way that capitalism is set up. You have to make more profit. So it's not like you can just make a good game that a lot of people like and a lot of people bought. You have to make a game that is like almost infinitely sustainable, and it's competing against FIFA/EAFC Ultimate Team, the ultimate money printing machine. Everything has to make Ultimate Team with Ultimate Pack's amount of money.
Yo, this is so fucked up that FIFA is so popular. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. Why the fuck do you buy the same game every year? Like, FIFA is just the same game every year. There is no fucking difference. But there is such a big amount of people who buy that shit. FIFA is a hogwash. You want to know what a hogwash is? FIFA. That's a hogwash.
At this point, you can have a team who has made the best thing in the world with every effort that they have, and it doesn't matter. It's just never enough money. It always has to be more money. And they will cut corners every step of the way that they can, and it will hurt you, but especially if you allow them to. It's
Right.
just the weirdest kind of corporate bootlicking. I don't get it. Workers want to give you high quality things. That's really all they care about. Publishers want to cut corners as much as possible while making more money from putting in as little money as possible. Which of these things are you going to side with? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep, I know what you mean, but I don't know if we can find it. How did I not sub to her until now? My lady, you've been subbed. You deserve a sub. You made me think deeply today. Oh my god. I'm very curious. Will the game industry go to shit? I think the game industry will be fine. I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist. And I think that Alana's... Oh man, I mispronounced her name. I'm sorry. Alana's? Lana? Oh god, fuck. How do you pronounce her name? What is the name? Alana. Oh man. Sorry, Alana. Yep. So what I wanted to say is that I agree with her on some points. I think it's the pain to see the industry becomes more automated. But I don't know if this is something we can stop, because in the end, company is a money machine. I do think we need to protest. I think protesting is good. But I think this is a war that is way, way bigger than all of us. And I don't know if we can win. Anyway, that was a very nice video to react to. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, I think I'll finish for now. Thank you everybody for watching the stream. Hope you will have a lovely day or night. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!